Good afternoon, I'm Elton Robinson with your November 6th grain and oilseed update. In the news this week, another huge week for soybean exports, some bullish news for wheat exports, and the winding down of U.S. harvests. As of the week ending November 1st, 85% of the U.S. corn crop has been harvested. The slightly smaller crop from last year is about 6% ahead of the prior 4-year average. 92% of the U.S. soybean crop is harvested, which is also slightly ahead of average. 80% of the U.S. sorghum crop is harvested, which is also ahead of last year's pace. Peanut harvest at 72% complete is behind the average pace. Producers are making progress on winter wheat harvest, with about 88% planted and 72% emerged. Several states that were lagging behind, including Arkansas, made significant progress during the last 2 weeks. 47% of the crop is listed in good to excellent condition compared to 59% in those categories last year. Heavy rains, lowered temperatures, and soaked fields in Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee, and Mississippi, which was good for pastures and wheat planting, but too much moisture for others who are trying to wrap up field work and harvest, especially in the northern reaches of the Mid-South. In the Midwest, Ohio and Indiana report that farmers are wrapping up corn and soybean harvest and wheat planting. In Indiana, rain showers were timely after most of the corn and soybeans were harvested and in time to benefit winter wheat. In Texas, rains fell across much of the state, but as is the case with Mother Nature, amounts ranged from sparse to excessive. And now for the latest export report for the week ending October 22nd. Wheat exports of 320,000 metric tons were up 51% from the previous week, but down 26% from the prior 4-week average, with South Korea, the Philippines, and Mexico among destinations. One of the few bullish factors for wheat, according to Bloomberg, is that for the first time, Saudi Arabia will rely completely on wheat imports in 2016. The country is expected to import 3.5 million metric tons in 2016, a 10-fold increase since 2008. By 2025, demand is expected to increase to 4.5 million tons. The shift from self-sufficiency to reliance on imports is due to dwindling aquifers to irrigate the crop. Failing aquifers are also occurring in northern India and northern China. Corn exports of 433,000 metric tons were up 6% from the previous week, but down 25% from the prior 4-week average, with several South American countries as major customers. Grain sorghum exports of 162,000 metric tons were down 38% from the previous week, but have still been strong so far this marketing year. The destinations are still primarily China and Mexico. Rice exports of 78,000 metric tons were up 29% from the previous week and 19% from the prior 4-week average, with shipments to Iran, Haiti, Japan, and Mexico. Soybean exports hit a marketing year high for the 3rd week in a row at a little over 2.8 million metric tons. China alone took 1.74 million metric tons. Soybean meal exports of 329,000 metric tons went to Mexico, the Philippines, Thailand, and the Dominican Republic. Soybean oil exports totaled 15,000 metric tons. Beef exports remained steady at a little over 12,000 metric tons, with destinations including Japan, Hong Kong, and South Korea. Pork exports of about 20,000 metric tons were up 12% from the previous week, with Mexico, Japan, and China as main customers. Well, that's it for this week's report. I'm Elton Robinson. See you next week.